The Cranmer family was excited. They had just bought a beautiful old Victorian house on Brownsville Road. It was a steal. The house was large with plenty of room for the family of 5. John and Mary Cranmer, along with their teenage children, David, Lisa and little Emily, were ready for a fresh start, but their excitement soon turned to unease. From the first night, there was an oppressive atmosphere. The family brushed it off as stress from the move. They unpacked boxes and tried to settle in, but the feeling lingered. It lurked in the shadows of the empty rooms. John and Mary tried to ignore the strange occurrences. Doors slammed shut on their own. Lights flickered and died. Emily, the youngest, began having nightmares. Mary tried to comfort her daughter, but she felt a chill run down her own spine. The whispers started subtly, just faint murmurs that the family could never quite make out. They seemed to come from the walls themselves. Then the shadows began to move. Flickers in the corner of their eyes turned into fleeting glimpses of something dark and shapeless. David, the eldest child, was the first to see it clearly. He was home alone one afternoon, reading in his room. He heard his name whispered, clear as day. It came from the closet. He turned, his heart pounding in his chest. The closet door creaked open. Standing there, shrouded in darkness, was a tall, gaunt figure. David could only make out its glowing red eyes. He screamed, scrambling back on his bed as the figure vanished into thin air. Lisa had her own terrifying encounter. She woke one night to find herself paralyzed. She couldn't move a muscle. She tried to scream, but no sound came out. A cold hand caressed her cheek, sending shivers down her spine. When she finally managed to open her eyes, the feeling of dread remained. David's nightmares intensified. He dreamt of the figure he had seen in the closet. It spoke to him, its voice a raspy whisper, threatening to consume him. He would wake up in a cold sweat, his heart racing. But the terror didn't end there. He began waking up with strange bruises on his arms and legs, dark purple marks that couldn't be explained. Lisa was also affected. She became withdrawn and quiet. Her once vibrant personality seemed to dim. She too started having nightmares. Hers were filled with the feeling of being watched, of something cold and evil breathing down her neck. She stopped sleeping altogether, terrified of what awaited her in the darkness. One morning, Lisa woke up with more than just nightmares. She had deep scratches across her back, 3 long, angry welts that oozed blood. The family was horrified. John's facade of skepticism crumbled. Mary to contact a priest. She gave her the name of Father Michael, a man known for his strength and faith. Desperate, Mary reached out to him. Father Michael listened intently to her story. He could sense the genuine fear in her voice. He agreed to come to the house immediately. Father Michael arrived at the Brownsville Roadhouse, his face grim. He could feel the oppressive darkness that clung to the home. He blessed the house with holy water, his voice echoing through the empty halls. The air grew heavy, charged with an unseen energy. Suddenly objects began to fly across the room. Furniture rattled and shook. A deep guttural growl filled the air. The entity was angry. It lashed out, trying to force Father Michael out of the house. But the priest stood firm, his faith unwavering. He began the exorcism rites, his voice rising in power. The house seemed to fight back, the lights flickering violently. The growl turned into a scream. A shadowy figure emerged from the darkness, its red eyes burning with rage. The battle between Father Michael and the entity raged for hours. Finally, with a deafening roar, the entity was ripped from the home. Silence descended. The house on Brownsville Road was quiet.